How to start a free email newsletter. Now, in this video, we're going to walk through how to set up your own email newsletter for $0 and make it work so that you can get the best open rates and click-through rates possible. And the best part is completely free. As I say, you're going to set it up for completely $0. Now, I'm going to show you everything, like nothing to gatekeep, and I'm going to give you real examples so that you can see exactly how things work practically. So with that all said, let's get into it. So here's what we're going to cover into this video. First thing is what an email newsletter actually is, and the two types of email newsletter that you can build, and which includes a free one and a paid one. Second is how to set up your newsletter on Substack completely for free, which is the platform that I'm using. You can choose any kind of platform, but for this video we're going to use Substack, right? Third thing is the key things that make a newsletter actually work, from your subject line all the way down to the call to action, which is basically the button or link that tells people that tells your readers what to do next. Okay, fourth thing is how to make your emails feel personal, so they feel like you are talking directly to one person, right? Fifth thing is how often you should be sending your emails, because most people get this wrong, and I'm here to correct that thought for you. Okay, and the sixth and last thing is how to read your numbers so that you know exactly what's working for your newsletter and what's not working. So let's break this down step by step. So what is an email newsletter? Okay, so an email newsletter is simply a way to send your content, your ideas, your offers, or like your updates directly to people's inbox, okay, on a regular basis. And this does not mean you're going to spam people, okay? Now, you might be thinking, but what kind of newsletter should I be building? And I know it can sound complicated because other creators are saying it in a different ways, but it's really not. Okay, there are basically two types, and I've just made it simple for you to understand. Okay, made it very simple for you to start, and they are exactly what they sound like. Number one is a free newsletter, okay, where readers subscribe for free on your email newsletter, and you send them valuable content, tips, stories, and useful things related to your topic. Okay, you build the audience first, and then you make money through other ways, like selling your own products, selling your own offers, or promoting things that you recommend. Okay, and then there is paid newsletter, which is the second type of newsletter, where your readers pay you a monthly or yearly amount to get access to your content, the tips, the hacks that you provide in your newsletter. So you can think of it like a subscription, right? Like a Netflix subscription, but for your newsletter. It's like for your writing, right? Now, most people start with a free newsletter. If you're a beginner and stuff like that, you can start with it. It doesn't require any amount of money. You can build your audience and then add a paid option when your readers are ready to pay for more. And on Substack, you can do it both, right? That's why I like Substack, and it's where I have started building myself so that I can build my audience up, right? So you can do it completely for free on Substack. There are other platforms like Beehive, ConvertKit, and they're free. Okay, they have free trials, and you can just try them out if you want to. Just start with paid versions. It's your own choice, right? But I would recommend Substack. It's pretty easy to start. It's pretty easy to set up, right? So it's completely free to start, and yeah, okay. So free newsletter or paid newsletter, let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, now here's something that a lot of people don't know when they are starting out, right? You can start completely for free, and Substack makes that really easy because you don't pay anything until you decide to charge your readers. But here's the exciting part, okay? When you are ready, you can also flip on a paid subscription at any point, and Substack handles all the payment processing for you. Okay, that's why I like Substack. So what does that mean in practice? It means you build your audience first for free, actually, and Substack doesn't charge you for anything, and then you monetize that audience when you are ready. Okay, there is no pressure to pay anything upfront, right? So think of it as building a foundation first, and then adding your monetization layer on top when your audience is ready to pay for it. Okay, so how do you set up your newsletter on Substack, right? Let's go deeper. Setting up is generally simple. Okay, it takes just a few minutes, not even a few minutes, it's just like a few seconds to get going. Okay, so the first thing is, first you go on Substack. I already have my own account, and then you create your own account, and then you give your publication a name. Now it can be like calling newsletter, it can be like I don't know, champion newsletter, it can be the conversion newsletter. My newsletter is down below, you can just check it out. It's called the conversion newsletter. Okay, and then you write a description. And then after you write a description, you give it a simple cover image if you have one. Now let me show you an example of my Substack. Okay, let me show you how my Substack looks like so that you can get a clear view on exactly what I am talking about, right? Okay, so you can enter on Substack just like this. Okay, this is like the page, like this is basically substack.com, right? You will create your own page, you log in, and then when what I was talking about just a second now, it was about the publication name. So you will create your own publication name just like this. Okay, so this is the publication name, you write your own. Mine is called the conversion newsletter, and then you will write your description. Mine is get weekly proven email, blah 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 blah. You get the first track, so it's like a lead magnet or something like that, right? And then you add your own logo right there, and then basically it's easy, right? You can create your own payments right here. Just setting things up. If you want to create a paid newsletter, then this is also a great place to start. Now, right now, this one is for the pledge, right? The pledge subscriptions. If you want people to if you want to run a paid newsletter, then this is going to be the pledge subscription. You're going to optimize all that, and then after that, the great thing also to check are these things should be turned on, all of them. The other thing is, okay, email sender name. So your email sender name should also be written just like here. Mine is calling from the conversion newsletter, right? You can just change this however you want. You can add your name, anything. Okay, you can edit the email header and footer. Okay, just like here. Okay, let me show you. Okay, the footer, my header is this one. Okay, it has this icon or logo right here, and then I wrote the email, the conversion newsletter. So you can also change it right there, right? It depends to you. Okay, so don't just copy mine, it depends to you, right? And then right here you're going to write your welcome email. Okay, welcome email right here, welcome email to imported subscribers. So the welcome email can be something like this. So my welcome email is like this, right? Welcome to the conversion newsletter. Simple. Hey, thanks for subscribing to the conversion newsletter. Here is your free guide as promised. Okay, what happens next? You will get one email from me every week with strategies, tips, and tactics for email copywriting and marketing. To make sure you don't miss it, check your spam, move the email, mark this email as important. But one quick favor, I did love to know what you are working on and what challenges you are facing with email marketing at the moment. Fill out this quick survey so I can send you the most useful content possible. Don't worry, it takes 20 seconds only, blah blah blah. Know someone who did benefit from this email, feel free to forward this their way. So it's something like this. Okay, a welcome email doesn't need to be something really crazy. Okay, it's just simple and stuff like that, and this is really easy to set up. It just takes like seconds, bro. Everything else here is just like Substack has already taken care of it, right? So there is no need to just go through everything, right? It's just easy. Your publication name, publication short, your welcome sequence, and then after that you will start writing your own newsletters, right? Writing your own newsletters is the simplest. Now after you have set everything up right here, going and checking exactly how it looks like, it will look like something like this, right? So whenever someone wants to opt in on your email list, it will look something like this, right? So the conversion newsletter, exactly, this one is the description, and this one is from me, right? And then people will input their email right here, and then they will subscribe to your email newsletter. So it's that simple, right? It's exactly that simple. So let's go back and yeah. Now you might be wondering, okay, what should I name it? Well, here's the thing, keep it simple and clear. Your name should tell someone immediately what they're going to get when they subscribe onto your newsletter, right? It's a free newsletter. Now once you are in, Substack gives you a drag and drop style editor, so there is not like, even if I will give you a step-by-step guide, it's easy. It's actually easy. When you just go to substack.com, it gives you everything. It's a drag and drop style editor where you can write your emails exactly like a document, add images, add buttons, add links, and format everything cleanly. If you need to know like the step-by-step guide, just let me know, and then I will drop another video just for you. Okay, and one of the best things about Substack is that every email you send also lives as a post on your public page. So it's like when you send a newsletter, it also stays on your page, right? It's the best thing. So new people can find your work and read your achieve and subscribe on their own without you doing anything extra. Now this is exactly even what Beehive does, right? When you send an email, it also keeps like it keeps the post or the emails that you sent on your public page, right? So when people subscribe, or if they want to read more of your emails, then they can go on the public page and just read all of the previous emails that you have been sending. It's one of the easiest thing that you can do. Now let's go into what exactly you're going to write in the emails and stuff like that, right? So here's the thing, your subject line is the main or the most important asset if you do not know about emails and stuff like that. Okay, so one of the most important elements of any email newsletter is your subject line, and here is exactly why. So the subject line is the first thing people see when they are looking at their crowded inbox. Okay, so whenever I enter into my inbox, my email inbox, the first thing I see is the subject line, and if you don't catch them there, they are not going to open your email. So They're not going to read it. They're not going to click on anything inside it. They're not going to do anything. Okay, you have lost them before even they have seen even your offer. All right, so you want your study client to be the attention grabbing first thing that they see. Okay, it has to be short, it has to be clean, it has to be clear, but also enticing enough that someone stops scrolling and thinks, okay, I need to open this email and know exactly what is inside, right? And here is an important rule: whatever you promise in your subject line, your email body needs to deliver on that immediately. Because if someone opens expecting one thing and gets something completely different, they're going to click off. Because people hate being promised something, and then if you do not deliver, people are just going to click off. They're going to lose trust on you. Okay, so just make sure what you are providing in the subject line is not clickbaity. It's something that you're going to deliver. Okay, or else they're not going to come back and they're going to click off. So think of it like this. Okay, your subject line is the promise, and your email body is keeping the promise. It's like you delivering the promise, and people can tell when you are not keeping it. If you're not keeping your promise, you're not delivering the promise, people can tell, people know. Okay, so what happens after they open? They go to the body. Now once you get them to open the email, you want to have a great body that pulls them in and makes them feel like, okay, they are getting exactly what they were promised on the subject line. And here is something really important to understand about how people actually read your emails. Okay, people are going to click towards the top, so put your highest priority stuff at the top. But also you want to pay attention to something called clickability. Okay, if someone sees something boring or not interesting right at the top, they are not going to click. Okay, they're not going to click the link, they're not going to click the offer, and they might even leave your email before getting to the good stuff, right? So you want to warm them up, you want to catch their attention, you want to tell them exactly what is in it for them in the newsletter right off the bat after they open the email. Okay, so you want to nurture them into the email because you have to earn their attention line by line, not just assume they will read all the way to the bottom, because sometimes they won't. Okay, so think of your email body like a story. You hook them at the top, you keep them engaged in the middle, and then you give them a clear reason to act at the end. Right now, personalization. Now this is the most important part of all of your email, right? Because if you do not personalize this specifically for the person who is reading it, then I can promise you people are just going to think you are targeting everyone, and if something is for everyone, then it speaks to no one, right? So personalization is what changes everything. Now here is something that makes a massive difference and most people overlook it completely. Okay, personalization. And by that I don't just mean putting someone's name in the subject line, although that does help. That is some kind of personalization at some point. But think of how many emails you get every day from big companies. Most of them feel very impersonal, like they just want to sell you something because they probably do, right? But when you personalize your emails, even if you're selling someone something, it takes that wall away. Okay, it feels like a real person is writing to a real person, and that changes how people respond to your emails completely, right? So on Substack this happens naturally because your writing voice is already in every email. But even something as simple as saying hi Sarah instead of just starting with here are this week's tips, or here are the, I don't know, conversion hack and blah blah blah, makes someone feel seen. And that feeling is what builds loyalty. That's what builds trust. Okay, and builds that relationship. And always make sure to set up a backup name, because if for some reason the platform cannot pull the reader's name, you don't want them to receive an email that just says hi and then no name. Okay, which basically means nothing was put there and it looks broken. Okay, so you want your email to look something like this. Okay, maybe if it's going to Sarah, you want to say in the subject line, you want to include the name because it's more personalized. It seems like you're targeting them specifically, the email was made for them. So Sarah, did you see this? Then you want to include their personal name right here. So hi Sarah, not like just going directly into breaking down. I mean, going directly into breaking down exactly what you're breaking down is good. It can work, right? It's not good. It can work, but it won't work always, right? So that's my main point. Next thing, okay, always check mobility. Okay, always check mobile. Okay, so here's a quick but important one. A growing number of people are opening their emails on mobile, and that number keeps going up every single year. So before you send that email, always check how it looks on mobile screen, because what looks clean and well formatted on desktop can look like a complete mess on a phone, right? So make sure everything is mobilized, if you get what I mean. So on Substack, your emails are automatically mobile friendly, but by default, but you still want to preview them before sending to make sure images are loading correctly, text isn't too small to read, and your CTA button is easy to tap, right? So it sounds like a small thing, but think of it this way. Okay, if someone opens your email on their phone and it's hard to read, then they're closing it within 3 seconds. They're not going to read it. Like nobody just will stay there and keep struggling to read something that they don't know about, they don't know you, they don't care about it, right? So this happens enough times, they will stop opening your emails at all. So make sure that the mobility of everything is good, right? Of your emails is good. So subject line and preview text work together. This is something that I haven't talked about, and I want to talk about it again. So I talked about the subject line already, but there's another small thing that works hand in hand with it, and that's your preview text, right? It's the most second important thing. So the preview text is, like, most people do not regard it, like they underrate it. They don't like consider it something powerful, but it's actually powerful, because the preview text is what gives them more curiosity on what exactly the subject line was delivering. So now you might be thinking, what should I be writing there, right, in the preview text? The best way to think about this is your preview text should add more to your subject line, not just repeat the subject line. So if your subject line says, did you hear about this strategy, your preview text could say something like, here is exactly what it is and why it's working so well right now. Exactly like that, right? Don't reveal things. Don't reveal what you wanted to say. Just intrigue them more. Okay, so that way the two work together to pull someone into the email, because together they are like telling a story that the reader wants to finish by opening the email, right? So the other thing is the unsubscribe button. Okay, why you want people to use the unsubscribe button? So every email you send needs to have an unsubscribe button, and not just hidden somewhere at the very bottom in a tiny text, but it needs to be visible and accessible. Let me explain what I mean. Okay, you might be thinking this. Okay, why would I make it easy for people to leave my email list or my newsletter, right? Well, here's exactly why. Okay, it's required by law under can spam and GDPR. If you don't know what exactly that is, I do not know what exactly that is. Just go in Google, go in YouTube, and just check it. That exactly is what it is. So there is no getting around it. Okay, but beyond the legal side, having an easy unsubscribe option is actually good for your email health, because people who want to leave your email list or your list are going to hurt your open rates and engagement if they keep staying, because they won't be opening your emails. They will ignore your emails, or even worse, mark your emails as spam. And when people mark your emails as spam, that affects your email deliverability for everyone else on your email list, even for the ones who open your email. So letting the wrong people go is actually how you protect the readers who actually want to be there. And Substack handles all of this automatically for you, so you don't have to worry. That's why I love Substack. And how often should you send your emails? This is one of the last thing. Okay, this is one of the most common questions, and the honest answer is that it really depends on what you're trying to do and who you are writing for. But my best option is 3 times. Okay, 3 to 2 times is actually great per week. Okay, so if you're running an editorial newsletter where you want traffic and you want people engaged with your content regularly, then sending more often is important, right? Just don't overwhelm people. Don't send every day, because you will overwhelm people. Okay, and a daily email can work really well for that, but don't send every day. Okay, just mark my words. But if you go daily, give people the option to switch to weekly, because a daily email can feel like a lot for some people, and low engagement rates can happen if you are sending too frequently for your audience. That's why I'm saying like 3 times is good. Okay, on the other hand, if you're doing deals or conversion focused newsletter, you might only need a bi-weekly or a tri-weekly cadence, as I say, 2 times or 3 times a week, because those emails tend to have a clear purpose and people do not need to hear from you every single day. Okay, so the best way to figure out your sweet spot is to test it. Okay, so pay attention to your open rates at different frequencies and let the data tell you what your audience actually want. Okay, so be very careful. Too much can kill your engagement, and yeah, people will just be overwhelmed. Okay, so don't do that. Now the last thing, once you start sending, you're going to want to pay attention to your numbers, because that's how you understand what's actually working. Okay, the first one is your open rate, and that's simply the percentage of people who open your emails out of everyone you send it to. Aim for 20% or more as good starting point, but below 20% it just means your emails are landing in spam. Okay, then you have your click rate, which is how many people clicked a link inside your email, and your click-through rate, which is clicks based on only the people who actually opened the link. Okay, so click-through rate will always look higher than a click rate. Okay, these two are different. Don't be confused. Okay, so you shouldn't be confused against the two. There's click rate and click through rate. Okay, now you also want to watch your unsubscribe rate, meaning how many people are choosing to stop receiving your emails. Okay, if that number goes above 1 to 2% consistently, that's a sign that something needs to change in your newsletter, whether that's how you often sending emails, or what you're writing about, or who you're sending to. Okay, one of those things is wrong. Okay, and one really interesting thing to look at is how people are reading your email. Now, are they just glancing at it quickly, skimming through it, or actually reading the whole thing? Because that tells you a lot about whether your content is connecting with people or not. Okay, how do you do that? Is just by tracking these numbers, right? It's easy. When you track these numbers, everything is great. No, where to put your links now? Here's something your analytics will show you pretty quickly, and it's worth knowing before you even send your first email. So the links at the top of your email are almost always going to be the most clicked links, because people click the most on the stuff at the top, and then they naturally drift or leave as they scroll further down. Now, so the longer your email, the less likely your last link or your last CTA is going to get a solid number of clicks. That's just how it works, okay? Like, don't blame me. It's just how it works. Okay. Now, what that means practically is that whatever you most want people to do, whatever is your most important call to action, put it near the top. It's not a must to stay at the top, right? You can just put it near the top. Don't save the best for last, because most people aren't making it to last. Okay, some people will scroll past to the last, but they won't read what exactly is in the middle. So it's like people won't even click the link. So to wrap it all up, okay, starting an email newsletter does not need to cost you anything. It's actually $0 of cost, okay, and Substack makes that easier than ever. So you start for free, you build your audience, you find your voice, and then when your readers are ready to support you, you can flip that on the paid option, okay? But none of that matters if you don't focus on the basics first, okay? And those are the subject lines that end the open, a body that delivers on the promise, a personalization that makes people feel seen, a sending frequency that respects the inbox, and numbers that tells you what actually is working. So get those right, get these matrices right, and your newsletter will grow exponentially. So if you find this helpful, make sure you like, subscribe for more, and drop your biggest newsletter question in the comments, and I will be answering as many as I can, right? I just watch every single comment, so I will be answering. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace out.